Hi, I'm Uncle Thor of the Trollwise Press, and tonight I want to discuss with you some ideas of magic, something that I've noticed over the past 40 years. Now, the real problem with a lot of the prayers, spells, and things that are done is that they don't have the right set of elements to work. A spell, a treatment, an affirmative prayer has a certain process, and that process has 3 stages: to contact the power, to control and to direct the power, and then to send the power directed to the job that must be done. Contact, control, direct. If you just go and contact the power, it's there, but it doesn't go anywhere. And if you go and get the power and don't give it enough control, it's going to waft where it will. What we're trying to do, it's like forming an object, forming a sculpture. We're taking this stuff and we're forming it for a specific purpose, so we don't lose its energy, so it doesn't dissipate. Now, there's very different ways to contact the power, because each tradition has its own power sources. In the Norse and German traditions of heathenism, we will likely use the runes, maybe the gods. Some of us will use the 4 elements. In traditional esoteric work, the power things with the 4 elements, the 7 planets. Some with the Kabbalah would use the Kabbalistic worlds. Metaphysics, they use aspects of the one mind. The thing is, all these people can get results. Part of it is to be solid with your power sources. You can't be weak with them. You have to be firm. And it doesn't matter. If you are firm, if you are solid with them, they give you a starting point. What we do often is use aspects of myth to help us contact them. For instance, we may say, use 3 ladies, representing the power of the Norns, past, present, and future, to tell that power what we need and how we want it to work. Other traditions will do other things. A metaphysical treatment might call on the one mind, one law, one principle, one understanding and wise power, and they will call on its life aspect for healing, on its substance aspect for prosperity. Other people might call and use planetary Saturn and use everything related to that, to use that energy. But that's where you make your contact. Next, you got to control it. By control it, you got to tell it what you need it to do and form it for what you need. You bring pure Fey runic power in, fine, you've got this power sitting there, but what's it going to do? Where are you aiming it and how are you preparing it? Fey can handle anything from mind coal, milk, any asset. If you're using it to get money, then you have to say, we are calling on the power of Fey. We want to direct Fey to bring us the asset of money. That's how you would have control. For a healing, you would say, all right, we want to call this power. We need the healing power of, say, if you were doing traditional planetary Mercury, we need this healing power. We need this healing power to bind a wound, which is going to be different from healing power to cure a burn. We want to be definite, but we don't want to be so definite that we don't give the power a little wiggle room. Because remember, this power isn't totally dumb. There's intelligence to it, and it can fill in the gaps sometimes. But we got to make sure those gaps aren't too big. And then we direct the power. We send the power out, taking the power of faith to bring us the money we need for the rent, to bring us the healing we need for the cut on the leg, or the burn on the arm. Whatever system we're using, we have to direct it, we have to focus it. You can't just go bum, bum, bum. This is not Mandrake the Magician, folks. The principle works, but we have to work with it, and we have to be definite. We have to take this stuff, this raw energy, use it and aim it. Just like the sculptor takes clay and makes a statue out of it, with our minds we are forming it for what we need it to do. being vacuous, being, ah, yeah, right. And I got a good deal for you on a bridge in Brooklyn, too. It's not going to work. You have to use your mind. You have to think. Many of the old spells work because they use these principles. The old three-lady charms. Three ladies come across the land, bringing healing hand in hand. They're bringing the healing power. You're using mythic images to contact the power. Then you say, the first one says, it is cut. The second says, will it bind? The third said, it is healed and well. They represent past, present, and future. So you're directing the power by saying, there is a cut, I want it to heal, and the result I want is a full healing. And we're using allegory, and it works. It works for those who work in that particular tradition and who understand that particular myth. It works so well that many of those old spells were later Christianized, and they worked for the Christians too, because the principle was there. The principle, again, to contact, control, direct. A metaphysical treatment would say there is one where we look at the power of life to restore, to heal, and we call on that power now to come, to heal a wound, to bind and gather the wound together, to bring healing so that so-and-so's leg will heal. So-and-so's leg is healed. We recognize now that it is healing, and even though it is not yet manifest, we know the power will make it so. Very often, there's this acceptance of the working as a done deal. That you have to be careful with. If you have a mindset that can do that successfully, fine. If not, find another way. Don't accept it as done unless you've got it done. This will work for you. I mean, it's the simplest thing, but that's the essence of spellcraft: to contact, control, direct the power to what you need. It works. There are prayers that'll work. There's affirmative prayer that'll work. There are affirmations. There are the metaphysicians use millions and millions of different techniques. The spells that'll work with, working with the runes, with the gods. And this is very different than asking the god to jump in and give you a hand. This is actually where you're taking hold of the power yourself. You're contacting it and putting it together. So really, just keep it that simple. If it's going to work, it's going to contact that power somehow. It's going to control it and direct it. And remember, all the spells, techniques, all the little gadgets and candles and all are accessories. It all has to be in here. Magic can do for you what it can do through you. And you have to be the one to make the contact. It's in your mind that the work is done. With a little training, you can get wonders. So that ends our little talk, and I'm going to wish you well. Good luck in your workings. This is Uncle Thor.